Welcome to today's discussion on GST. Uh, we have been discussing on payment of taxes under GST. It has three subdivisions. First subdivision is utilization of input tax credit, which we have almost done. We'll do one problem quickly and move away. Then the procedural part, actually what happens in payment of taxes. What do we mean by electronic liability ledger, electronic credit ledger, cash ledger? What will be debited in each ledger? What will be credited in each ledger? All that we will learn. Once that is over, once that discussion is over, and of course, coupled with that, we will take up interest. We will have two more topics for discussion, which will be TDS and TCS. When TDS will be applicable, when TCS will be applicable, what's the threshold, so on and so forth, discussion associated with it. Once that is over, that sums up your payment of taxes, and which will take us to the last but one topic, return. And return would be the concluding chapter. Various returns we will discuss. Of course, the final topic is there, assessment and audit. A very simple topic, not a very serious topic. All are simple topics, but these are all can be tested in exam. I'm sure you all are able to see the Excel sheet. We have a problem coined for you, a case study number 4, where output tax payable is 5 lakhs CGST, 5 lakhs SGST, and similarly, IGST payable is 7.5 lakhs. Now, there is a balance, ITC balance of 6.25 lakhs, 6.25 lakhs of CGST, SGST, and an IGST of 3.5 lakhs. From the records, they come to know there is an opening balance of 75,000. All you need to determine is what is the GST payable, or are there any carry forward credit. Yes, go ahead, do a problem, a standard problem. Problem like this will come in exams, or when you work it out and get final answer, the final answer you can search in MCQ and select that answer. So that is how the whole model is going to go. Go quickly, do a very, very interesting problem. Quickly. Faisal, can you confirm me what is your carry forward credit? Anand through Gangadharan. I'm not sure about your descriptive. Final answer, can you confirm? Anand Vishwanathan through, Madhumita through, Sanjay through. Gangadharan, revised answer கொஞ்சம் தப்பா வருதே. Shashikala through, Neha through, Deepthi through, Achyutan through, Sneha through. Good, good. All of you are getting right answers. A very simple topic, nothing great, no great discussions. It is in line with your earlier discussions that we have made on this topic. 7,50,000, then 5 lakh, then 5 lakh. First, you will use your IGST credit. IGST credit is 3,50,000. Entire credit will be used for your tax liability. After IGST brought to nil, once it is through, you get a clean sheet. You'll go to CGST credit. First, you'll use your CGST credit for CGST liability. Up to 5 lakhs, you will use. Once you use, there is a carry forward credit. Again, you will use it to the extent of 2 lakhs. However, you'll use your SGST credit to the extent of 5 lakhs to set off your SGST liability, and to the extent of 2 lakhs your SGST. Carry forward, net ITC payable, both are null, but somehow this working is required. That's all. Absolutely nothing to it. So that sums up your discussion relating to these problems. Getting into these ledgers are concerned. Section 49 discuss about it. Any money paid as late fee, interest, penalty, whatever money that are deposited into the bank account, all those money are always whatever money that are deposited to the bank account whatever money that are deposited to the bank account always will be credited to electronic cash ledger. So any money deposited by the supplier through bank account of the GST, through bank account to the GST number, that money will be credited to a ledger called as electronic cash ledger. Any self-assessed ITC, input tax credit, self-assessed. Whenever you take your input tax credit, that will also be credited to electronic credit ledger. Let me repeat, all those money that is paid to bank account, referring the GST number of a person, will be credited to cash ledger. Any input tax credit self-assessed and availed by the person will be credited to electronic credit ledger. Amount in electronic cash ledger. Amount in electronic cash ledger can be used for any purpose of payment of tax, interest, penalty, and late fee. More important point, amount in electronic cash ledger can be used for payment of tax, interest, penalty, late fee, and others. However, amount in electronic credit ledger can be used only for the purpose of payment of output tax. A very big difference. Electronic credit ledger, ITC, can be used only for payment of output tax liability. Input tax credit can be taken and set off with output tax liability only. You cannot use it for interest, penalty, late fee. Sir, why is section prohibits? Section says cash only need to be paid. Interest class set off பண்ணோம்னா நீங்க முதல்ல இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்க்கு cash கட்டுங்க. So points for our discussion is amount in electronic cash ledger. Amount in electronic cash ledger can be used for tax, interest, late fee, everything. Whereas amount in electronic credit ledger can be used only for payment of taxes. Now, Neha, could you able to see the PPT? Sorry. So our discussion is like this. Any amount deposited, that amount deposited will be credited. Any amount paid through bank will be credited to electronic cash ledger. Similarly, any self-assessed ITC will be credited to electronic cash ledger. Again, you can use the cash ledger amount for payment of any purposes. For any purposes you can use. Any purposes. Any purposes. இதெல்லாம் வந்து ஒரு பெரிய gift. You can use it for any purposes. Whereas amount in electronic credit ledger can be used only for the payment of output tax payment. So it cannot be used for any other purposes. Now, all those taxes payable, all taxes payable will be recorded in electronic liability register. Tax payable recorded by the supplier, recorded by the government, both are reflected in electronic liability register. So all liabilities, all taxes payable by the person will be recorded in electronic liability register. In other words, will be debited to electronic liability register. So all those money will be debited to electronic liability register. Tax under electronic credit ledger. Sorry, tax under electronic liability register will be discharged in the following order. 1 minute. It's not tax under electronic credit ledger. 1 minute. Tax under electronic liability register will be discharged in the following order. What is that order? First, previous year, previous tax period, tax will be paid. tax and dues relating to return of previous tax period. See, let me repeat. Previous tax period or previous months will be paid first. Then current month tax period will be paid. Then only it can be used for payment of voluntary payment of tax or in case of any demand under section 73 or 74. So there is a process how it will get settled off. Let me repeat. First, you will adjust only your old taxes payable. Then you will adjust the current tax payable. Then you will adjust any demand created by the government. If they pay, if the supplier himself pay voluntarily, then it is called as voluntary payment under section 73. If the supplier pay against a demand, then under section 74, he has to pay. Now, it is deemed that the person has passed the incidence of tax. What do you mean by passed on the incident of tax? Any person who pay tax, the law makes a deeming fiction that person has collected the tax from the customer. It's a deeming fiction. Law can assume whatever they want. They are making a assumption. It is deemed the person has passed on the incident of tax. Any person who is paying tax, government will assume they have collected from the customer. That's all. So what is that I have learned here, sir? You have just learned. You have just learned what are those ledgers. Now, just be with me. I'll take you through in an Excel sheet. One minute. No, come back here. I'll share once this sheet is done. I'll share to you. Don't be bothered about it, making a note and all. In the GSTN of every registered person, in the GSTN of every registered person, three ledgers, broadly three ledgers are maintained. What are those three ledgers? Electronic liability register, electronic cash ledger and electronic credit ledger. Let me repeat. For every person, these three ledgers are maintained. No. What will be debited and what will be credited? All those tax payable, let me repeat, all those GST tax payable, will be output GST payable. If you want to be very careful, output GST payable will be debited in this lecture. Any other debit for wrong payment, non-payment, short payment, interest, penalty, government can also debit. GST return will be the basis for output tax payable. Similarly, based on scrutiny of return, department can also debit the tax payable. Yes. ITC, existing ITC will be used for payment of tax liability, or the cash payment will be used, the amount of money available that will be used for payment of tax liability. So against the debit, what will be credited is ITC ledger. From ITC ledger, money will be transferred to liability ledger and credited. From cash ledger, debit balance to money will be transferred to liability ledger and then credited. So whatever tax payable, how it is paid, that information is captured in your electronic liability register. Electronic cash ledger. Though I think I have used the term called as cash, actually what it means is all those payment made through bank. Then all those payment will be credited to electronic cash ledger. Cash payment made to GST system by a registered person will be credited to electronic liability register. Agreed. Any cash payment which is used for any payment of liability will get debited. So if you want to pay the taxes, if you want to set off your payment of tax liability, at that time it will get debited. Sir, I'm not able to understand what you mean by debited here. Very simple. The moment you pay amount, it is getting credited. Something like GST wallet account, you think like a Paytm wallet. If you want to pay something, first you have to have minimum balance or more than that sufficient balance. So whenever you pay money, your Paytm wallet is credited. Whenever you pay to GST system, GST wallet is credited. Whenever you buy goods through Paytm, your Paytm account is debited. Whenever you pay tax, output tax, at that time your account is debited. Verbatim, no difference between your Paytm wallet and GST wallet. All are same. One more point here is electronic credit ledger. On all the inward supplies made by a registered person, yes, ITC is taken. Having taken that ITC, what we are going to use? We are going to set off with output tax payable. Hence, whatever ITC used, that will be debited, and whatever ITC taken by filing GST R3B return will be credited. So this is about your credit and debit that will come here. Now, maybe I don't want you to refer anything, even the material, even the page that we are discussing here. If you want, I can also go for a blank page. I want to ask some questions and I want you to give answers for it. Output GST payable by a company will be dash to electronic liability dash. output GST payable by the company, output GST payable by the company will be dash to electronic dash. Output GST payable by the company will be output GST payable. There are two dashes, so you should give me two answers. Output GST payable by a company will be dash to electronic. If in case you have all doubt, electronic dash ledger. Output GST payable by a company will be debited to electronic liability ledger. Electronic liability register. In fact, not ledger, electronic liability register. Okay, it's my mistake only. I have only mentioned test ledger. Electronic liability register. Okay, it will be debited to electronic liability register. Quick. Two people, three people have answered. Quick. Output GST payable will be debited to electronic liability register. So will be debited to electronic liability register. If any of you want to say credited, output GST payable will not be credited anywhere. Now, any case, in case of yes, in case of cash paid by a supplier is cash paid by a supplier, comma, it will be dash to electronic dash. Cash paid by a supplier to GSTN number. That is how you have to think. Cash paid by a supplier to GST number. In case of cash paid by the supplier to GST number will be credited to electronic dash. Good. Sudarshan, check no. Cash paid by the supplier அப்படின்ற நம்ம ரொம்ப கிளவரா எழுதுறோம் நம்ம. Cash paid by the supplier, it will be dash to electronic dash. Tax paid இல்ல cash paid. Done. Credited. Okay. Pranav, check your answer. Credited. Sudarshan, check your answer. I think I have told you earlier. In case of cash paid by a supplier, it will be credited to electronic liability register. Now, that sums up your discussion. Maybe this all you can take it up as part of your problematic representation. Electronic liability register. So come back here. Whenever GST payable as per return, GST liability for Feb 2020 hyphen form GSTR 3B. By filing the form, there will be a GST liability. This GST liability is set off partly by utilization of tax liability, partly by cash utilized for payment of tax liability. So partly it is used. So the actual information is electronic cash ledger will be debited and electronic liability register will be credited. Electronic credit ledger will be debited and electronic liability register will be credited. Can you able to understand this logic? Your electronic liability register will be credited to the extent of tax paid. I think in morning itself we discussed whatever tax you pay, to that extent it will be debited, credited. In case you find all this is difficult, we'll go back to one question and I'll ask you, you start saying it. எனக்கு நீங்க சொல்லிட்டீங்கன்னா மட்டும் போதும், அவ்வளவுதான். 7,50,000, 5 lakh, 5 lakh will happen. What will happen to it? Okay. Where it will come, in which ledger it will come, whether it will be debited or credited. That's all. 7,50,000, 5 lakh and 5 lakh. This number will be first. நான் எடுத்திருக்கோம் first number. இது என்ன ஆகும்? Where it will go? It will be debited or it will be credited. If it is debited, where it will be debited. If it is credited, where it will be credited. அவ்வளவு. See, I am going back to case study. Case study. ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருங்க. No hurry. 1 minute. Yes, now you say me. This tax liability. This is a return-based tax liability. Yes, return-based tax output IGST tax. Yes, where it will go. A few of you started answering. I want all of you to answer. First discussion na rendu answer la modal discussion. Idan first line item. The output tax liability of IGST will be where it will go. Yes, Sudarshan. Correct. Gangadharan, check your answer. Gangadharan, check your answer. Gayatri, correct. Sneha, no. Check your answer. Sneha, check your answer. Shashikala, check your answer. Faisal, correct. Rajendra Tilak, correct. Madhumita, correct. Shweta Sundar, correct. Neha, correct. Jitesh, correct. Pranav, check. Output tax liability first will be output tax payable nu solliyachu. It will be what? Gangadharan revised answer is right. Deepthi, Correct. Debited where? Sneha, debited to. Good. Debited to, debited to electronic liability register. What, sir? எல்லாமே வா ஆமா எல்லாமே debited to electronic liability. So ledger போட்டிங்கன்னா அந்த ledger balanceல first என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? Electronic liability register mark பண்ணிடுவீங்க. Debited to electronic register. Understand? But now what will happen? You have so much of tax liability. Agreed. All that is agreed. No doubt. Next. Total ITC availed. Utilized இல்லைங்க நான் திருப்பியும் சொல்றேன் availed. Total ITC availed 7 lakh 7 lakh 3 lakh 50,000 இருக்குல்ல ITC availed. That will happen to what? ITC availed or taken. You can call as ITC availed or you can call it as ITC taken. What will happen to these numbers? Sir, what are these numbers? You only told no 7 lakhs as per GST return. This is also 7 lakhs. Yes. One minute. Yes. ITC taken, of course, of CGST, again SGST, again IGST. What will happen? Where it will go? அவ்வளவுதான் எனக்கு கேள்வி என்னன்னா where it will go. அங்க என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? டெபிட் பண்ணுவீங்களா கிரெடிட் பண்ணுவீங்களா? அவ்வளவுதான். I will start with நான் திருப்பி சொல்றேன் ஐடிசி அவைல்டு தான் நான் பேசுறேன். ஐடிசி அவைல்டு வில் பி credited to cash ledger. Sanjay, Faisal through, Shanti through, Sneha through, Haripriya through, Sudarshan through, R Gayatri through, Hamid through, Shashikala, check your answer. Kishore, check your answer. Gangadharan through, Madhumita through. Sitesh, check your answer. ITC taken will be credited to electronic credit ledger. ITC taken will be credited to electronic credit ledger. It will be credited to electronic credit ledger. Now what is the final, sir? Now இன்னும் இருக்கு அவ்வளவு சீக்கிரம் முடியல. You have set it off ITC. You have set it off ITC in a particular order. You have adjusted some 7,50,000 of IGST. Utilization of IGST utilization of you have used this ITC. Okay, that will be ரெண்டு இடத்துல எஃபெக்ட் வரும். நான் திருப்பியே சொல்றேன், ரெண்டு இடத்துல எஃபெக்ட் வரும். The ITC, let me repeat, no hurry. The ITC that is utilization of ITC. See, யாரெல்லாம் ஆன்சர் பண்றீங்களோ உங்களுக்கு grip கிடைக்கும், அவ்வளவுதான் நான் சொல்ல முடியும். Utilization of ITC will be, what will happen to this? Utilization of ITC will be Sudarshan answer is through, Neha answer is through, Chitesh answer is through, Shanti partly answer is through, Sanjay வேற ஸ்வேதா, சுந்தர், சஞ்சய் ஒரு எஃபெக்ட் தான் சொல்றீங்க, ரெண்டு எஃபெக்ட் இருக்குன்றனா. கங்காதரன், ட்ரூ கங்காதரன். சசிகலா பார்ட்லி ரைட், இன்னொரு பார்ட்டு காணோம். Gayatri, can you check? Gayatri, can you check? Yes, quick. Sanjay, Rajendra Tilak through, இல்ல ராஜேந்திர திலக் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் லைன் ஆன்சர் தப்பு. காயத்ரி, ECL அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? Debited to electronic liability register. It will be debited to electronic liability register and it will be credited to cash ledger. இல்ல cash ledgerனா தப்பு ஆன்சர், அதுக்காக தான் கேட்டேன். It will be credited to your electronic liability register and it will be debited to electronic credit ledger. மேல போட்ட டெபிட் காம்பன்சேட் ஆகும். மூணுத்துக்குமே இதான் ஆன்சர். credited to electronic liability register and debited to electronic credit ledger. இந்த கிரெடிட் எடுக்கிறீங்க பாத்தீங்களா, அது பேமெண்ட் பண்ணும்போது செட் ஆஃப் பண்ணுவீங்க. இது ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் சேர்ந்து ஒரே இதுவா வரும். Finally, if any cash payment is made, not this problem, in some other problem, whenever you pay cash payment, it will be credited to electronic cash ledger. Okay, and utilization of cash payment. Utilization of cash payment, it will be debited to electronic cash ledger. See, short forms la use பண்ணலாம். ECL na electronic cash ledger, ECRL credit வார்த்தை வருது பாருங்க. ECRL அப்படின்னு போட்டீங்கன்னா electronic credit ledger, ELR அப்படின்னு போட்டீங்கன்னா electronic liability register. Okay, so there is no bar in not using short form. You can carefully use the short form. பட் உங்க ஆன்சர்ல எனக்கு டவுட் வந்தது, நீங்க கிரெடிட் லெட்ஜரை சிஎல்னு சொல்றீங்களா இல்ல கேஷ் லெட்ஜரை சிஎல்னு சொல்றீங்களான்றதுக்காக தான் நான் கேட்டேன். See, I'm not sure. You have to definitely take grip of this discussion. Largely important for an MCQ. Okay, so you'll be tested in terms of this aspects only. What ledger will be used for what purposes? When we get into the presentation, maybe your understanding should grow. After that, again, just to check whether your understanding is in line with our discussion, just to test that point, I will take you through some situations. You start answering it so that we'll be format of electronic liability register. Format of electronic liability register will be in PMT01. Remember this for all MCQs. PMT01 is the format of your electronic liability register. So if you want to know at one go all these formats, PMT01 is the format of electronic liability register. Similarly, PMT02 is the format of electronic credit ledger. PMT05 is the format of electronic cash ledger. Let me repeat. Format of the respective ledgers. So these ledgers comes up with some format, sir. Yes, those ledgers comes up with some format. The electronic the format of your electronic liability register is form GST PMT 01. Similarly, if it is going to be electronic credit ledger, PMT 02. PMT 05. See, நான் திருப்பியும் சொல்றேன், இதெல்லாம் ஃபார்ம் நம்பர்ஸ். அந்த ஃபார்மேட்ல தான் அது இருக்கும். அதுக்காக any amount towards payable towards tax, interest, penalty, late fee furnished in the return will be debited. Any amount paid towards tax, interest, penalty, late fee determined by the officer will be debited. Any other interest, penalty, late fee payable on mismatch, any other payment payable from time to time will be debited. Any payments made by a registered person in ITC or in cash or using TDS or TCS through electronic credit ledger or electronic cash ledger will be credited to electronic liability register. Any payment you make in the tax liability, நீங்க set off பண்ணும்போது it will be credited to liability register. It will be debited to electronic liability register. Any amount debited in the electronic liability register will be reduced to the extent of appellate tribunal. எனக்கு இந்த பாருங்க இந்த பாயிண்ட் எல்லாம் நான் பாதரே பண்ணல உங்களுக்கு எக்ஸாம்க்கு. இந்த பாயிண்ட்லாம் நான் பாதர் பண்ணல. ஓகே. Any discrepancy you can write it to PMT04 to the respective authority. அதுவும் எனக்கு வேண்டாம். எது டெபிட் ஆகும் எது கிரெடிட் ஆகும் அதை கிளியரா தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும். Whenever there is a tax payable, it will be debited either by the assessee voluntarily by filing return or by the department. It will be debited to electronic liability register. Similarly, in case of your any payments made by a registered person in cash, ITC, TDS, TCS, it will be credited to electronic liability register. So whatever money that is going to be paid, that will be credited to your electronic liability register. The rent point is a major point. Simultaneously தெரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க, if you are going to credit your electronic credit ledger, or if you are going to credit your credit from electronic cash ledger to electronic liability ledger, அங்க டெபிட் விழுந்தாதான் இங்க கிரெடிட் விழுகும். இதான் அக்கவுண்ட்ஸ். இதெல்லாம் நீங்க எதுவும் பண்ண வேணாம், ரிட்டர்ன் ஃபைல் பண்ணீங்கன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா நடக்கும். அதனாலதான் இதுக்கு பேர் எலக்ட்ரானிக் லைபிலிட்டி ரெஜிஸ்டர். எலக்ட்ரானிக் லைபிலிட்டி ரெஜிஸ்டர் மார்க் பண்ணுவேன். Electronic liability register means any payment made by a registered person in any payment made by a registered person will be credited to any payment made by a registered person by using ITC or cash payments, TDS, TCS will be credited to electronic liability register. Come back here. Followed by electronic credit register, or in fact you can call it as electronic credit ledger, not register, electronic credit ledger. Now, in case of electronic credit ledger is concerned, whatever input tax credit you claim, that will be credited. Whatever input tax credit you use for payment, that will be debited. That is understandable. Okay. Apart from this, if a registered person claims refund, that refund amount will be debited to electronic credit ledger. Let me repeat. In case a registered person claims refund, there is a possibility that a registered person will claim refund. If they export the goods, they are eligible for refund. If they supply goods to SEZ, they are eligible for refund. In case of wrong payment of tax, they are eligible for refund. Whenever they make a refund application, at that time, from the ITC ledger, which is your electronic credit ledger, from the electronic credit ledger, to that extent, any amount of refund applied for, utilized, to that extent, it will be debited. Understandable. If in case the refund is rejected, either fully or partly, to that extent, money will be credited to the electronic credit ledger. Supplier makes a refund application for 1 lakh. Government grants only 80,000. Government says 20,000 will not give. That 20,000 will be credited back to electronic credit ledger, for which the officer will use the form. Officer, to recredit the amount into the electronic credit ledger, will use a form called as PMT03. A PMT03 will be used by the officer, and the refund which is applied by him, at that time it will be debited. 1 lakh he makes, he has 3 lakh rupee credit. 1 lakh he makes refund application of CGST and SGST. From 3 lakh, the balance will come down to 2 lakhs. Refund was what? Debited. So balance came down. Now on that refund, they went and submit the document. Officer says, I will give you only 80,000 credit as refund. Here take refund of 80, 1 lakh. 90,000 rupees, sorry, 1,80,000 rupees check, 1,60,000 rupees check. Yes, you take it. Balance 20,000, I will not give. And what officer will do is, officer will use the form called as PMT03 filed by him, and officer will reject the refund, which will be recredited. Amount debited to the extent of rejection will be recredited to the ledger. 20,000 திருப்பி வந்து விழுந்துரும். 2 லட்ச ரூபாயிலிருந்து 20,000 விழுந்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் 220 ஆட் ஆயிடும். Then in case of any discrepancy with the officer, a form called as PMT04 will be there. Let me repeat it. One small mistake here. Everywhere somehow word register is referred. Register is not a correct word. Ledger is only a correct word. Electronic credit ledger, ECRL, means EC credit ledger. Why I'm highlighting is electronic liability register. There only it will use a word called as register. These two places, government uses a word called as ledger only. Here it is correctly worded, electronic cash ledger. Whenever you want to make payment, or sorry, whenever you, in the format it will be maintained, it will be electronic cash ledger, followed by whenever any person want to make payment, yes, he can make payment by using a form called as PMT06. PMT06, and the form use பண்ணி தான் he can make a deposit of money to the cash ledger. இந்த formல fill பண்ணி through internet banking, through your NEFT RTGS, or through over the counter. Debit card, credit card is not yet initiated. Only internet banking, NEFT, over the counter. So points for our discussion is this. Internet banking, NEFT, over the counter. All these three was used. Having these three facility, government has not yet generated. When it comes to over the counter, you can deposit through cash only up to 10,000 per challan. Okay. So beyond 10,000 rupees, they cannot deposit. They have to write a check and only give, or they have to use their internet banking and pay. By collecting it as cash, maximum of 10,000 rupees is possible. Beyond that, it is not possible. So coming back here, points for our discussion is electronic cash ledger. Electronic cash ledger, whenever money is deposited through PMT06, it will get credited to the electronic cash ledger. Take that credit, set off with your tax liability. Done. Now, in case of payment, any challan generated in the system, for the purpose of NEFT RTGS payment, the challan will be valid for a period of 15 days. And it will be given a number called as CPIN, Common Portal Identification Number. Let me repeat, CPIN. This acronym is not here. Somehow that acronym is missed. Once the challan is generated, a temporary identification number they are referring, no. That temporary identification number is called as CPIN, Common Portal Identification Number. On successful payment, okay, the authorized bank will give CIN, Challan Identification Number. Okay, CIN means Challan Identification Number. The corporate identification number, that and all you don't think. Challan Identification Number, CIN means. Similarly, come back here. In case of your CPIN, Common Portal Identification Number. So coming back here, points for our discussion are very simple. In case of your electronic cash ledger, if the payment is made instantly through internet banking, no issues. Everything will happen immediately. Challan will get generated. They generate challan and subsequently pay by cash over the counter. They generate challan, later they issue a NEFT RTGS. Then challan will be generated. Challan is valid for a period of 15 days. While the temporary challan challan is generated, a temporary identification number is given. which is called as CPIN, and once that is filed, finally a SIN number is given, Challan identification number is given. In case any discrepancy, account debited in the amount, but money never came in the wallet, things like that, you can use a form called as PMT07 for any discrepancy between bank and you on behalf of money not credited into account. All those TDS deducted and TCS collected by the respective vendors. TDS, TCS, when we go to the respective positions, you will know better. Those TDS and TCS will be credited to electronic cash ledger. Having been credited, that can be used for payment of your tax liabilities. It can be used for payment of tax liabilities. In case if amount is in excess, yes, refund of any amount can be claimed from electronic cash ledger. So if in case any excess payment of tax is done or the amount is in excess, yes, whatever amount is in excess, refund can be claimed in case of any money in electronic cash ledger. Very important point, TDS and TCS will be credited to electronic cash ledger, because sometimes we will be get influenced by that word, it will be credited to electronic credit ledger. No, TDS and TCS is treated at par with cash payment, because on the other end, the deductor and the collector pays to government in cash. Because of that reason, it is treated at par with cash payment. So TDS and TCS are credited to his electronic cash ledger. Followed by these are all we have already discussed. Common portal identification number, whenever for the purpose of cross referencing. Any corresponding entry between the ledgers, you have a unique identity number. In case of discharge of liability with electronic liability register. What do you mean by this, sir? Very simple. Your one end electronic cash ledger will be debited, and on the other end electronic liability register will be credited. Both are same entry. You will have a common UIN, unique identity number, in the portal. For each cash or credit ledger, yes, a UIN is given. For that month credit, UIN is given, unique identity number. UIN is given for everything. Unique identity numbers are given. When the, go back to our problem discussion, when the liability is created, a UIN is given. When the ITC is self-assessed and credited to electronic credit ledger, UIN is given. When the cash is deposited into the electronic cash ledger, which is credited to the cash ledger, UIN is given. Taxes paid through cash and credit. First cash is taken, first credit is taken. The credit is taken and set it off with what? Tax liabilities. So electronic credit ledger is debited, electronic liability register is credited. Electronic credit ledger is debited, electronic liability register is debited. Both are by single entry. A UIN is given. Cash has a credit balance that has to be used for payment. Now, a electronic UIN will be for set off this payment. Electronic cash ledger is debited. Electronic liability register is credited. For this, a UIN is created. Generally, in a normal situation, 5 UINs will be generated. Creation of liability, availment of ITC, deposit of money, utilization of ITC for liability, which will be a cross entry, utilization of payment. 5 UINs every month it will be created. What is UIN? Unique identity number to trace. This adjust agudune. Understand? You have roughly about 2.5 crore plus GST as of now. Every assessee will do every month this transaction. So think how the UIN should be designed. a unique identity number to which will drill down to that transaction. To that extent, they have worked upon it. Maybe when we learn a lot more about it, you will be in a real position to appreciate the importance of it. That, yes. So this sums up your discussion relating to electronic liability ledger, electronic credit ledger, and electronic cash ledger. Sir, what should be my takeaway? What are these three ledgers? For what purposes it is used? What will be debited? What will be credited? What are the format numbers? PMT01 is a format for what? PMT02 is a format for what? PMT05 is a format for what? In case if money needs to be, in case the excess refund has to be recredited to my account, what form officer will use? Poduma sir, Podu. If I want to deposit money, what form I will use? PMT06. இந்த அளவுக்கு grip இருந்ததுன்னா ஐ திங்க் நான் இப்போ கேட்ட கேள்விக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் எஸ் சார் எனக்கு ஆன்சர் சொல்ல முடியுது அப்படின்னா யூ ஹவ் அண்டர்ஸ்டுட் வெல், தட் இஸ் யுவர் லேர்னிங் கர்வ். தட்ஸ் அதுக்கு மேல எதுவுமே தெரிய வேணாம், இது வரைக்கும் புரியுது. அதே மாதிரி அந்த டிரான்சாக்ஷனுக்கு என்ன ஆகும்? இஃப் மணி இஸ் டெபாசிட்டட் இன்டு த ஜிஎஸ்டி அக்கௌண்ட், which means electronic cash ledger will be credited. This month return is filed. What will happen? Two things will happen immediately. Electronic liability register will be what? Debited. Similarly, electronic credit ledger will be credited. அவ்வளவுதான். ஓ ரிட்டர்ன் ஃபைல் பண்ணா இது நடக்கும், செட் ஆஃப் பண்ணா இது நடக்கும். அதை புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க. ஐ திங்க் யூ ஆர் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட். So quickly we'll do one thing. We'll take a short break for 10 minutes. Come back, take up interest. Once we are through with interest, very simple point, TDS, then TCS. That's all. Just 3 points. Each is interest is about 20 minutes discussion. TDS is about 15 minutes discussion. TCS, another 15 minutes discussion. That's all. Once we are done with this, straight away we can go to the last topic for our discussion, which is return on tomorrow's session, not today's session. Done? Yes. Go ahead. We'll break for 10 minutes and then rejoin. Welcome back to our discussions on payment of taxes. Section 50 of CGS Act comes out and discusses that there would be a interest payable in case of delay in payment of tax. Whenever there is going to be a delay in payment of tax, yes, there is the interest payable. Interest is payable for every delay in payment of tax. From which date, sir? After the due date for filing return. Filing return and payment of tax, same date. After the due date of filing return, which is nothing but payment of tax. That day, it's the same day. ஒரே நாள்ல தான் டாக்ஸை கட்டி நீங்க ரிட்டர்ன் ஃபைல் பண்ணணும். அது என்ன சார்? நெக்ஸ்ட் மந்த் 20 years. After the due date of payment of tax, till the date of payment of tax, interest will be calculated at the rate of 18% in case of any tax is due. In case of excess claim of ITC, then interest will be calculated at the rate of 24%. A wrong ITC, excess claim of ITC. In that cases, interest will be calculated at the rate of 24%. Now, kindly make a note, interest will be calculated on a gross tax liability. Let me repeat it. Gross tax liability interest will be calculated. Though there is a provision that interest to be calculated on net tax liability inserted in section 50, it was not made effective by government. So for your exam, You will calculate interest on gross tax liability. Sir, what do you mean by gross tax liability? I'll take you through a particular illustration. Be with me. There is a supplier who has supplied the goods. He is liable to pay a GST, something like this. He has a CGST liability of 10,000 rupees and a SGST liability of again another 10,000 rupees and a IGST liability of 25,000 rupees. Okay, so you all know all this. Now, supplier who has the output GST payable. Similarly, input tax credit for that month, the supplier has this. ₹5,000, 5,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees. So as usual, you all will get your net tax payable by cash. Net tax payable by cash will be 5,000, 5,000 and 10,000. Net tax payable by cash. Done? No. Further discussions. Due date for filing return and payment of tax. The due date for filing return and payment of tax was 20/2/2020. Assume for a moment. Just a old date. We'll take it up. Very, very old date. Okay. Actual date of payment of tax and filing of return. Okay. Hope you now understand all these acronyms. Filing of return, payment of tax. 23/3/2020. Now, as you all are aware, no doubt, from the due date of after the due date, that is 21st/2/2020 onwards, till date of payment. So 21st/2/2020 onwards, till date of payment, interest to be calculated. So number of days interest is payable. Number of days interest payable in February month, 29 days this time, as it is a leap year. Be careful. That is why I picked up February 20. Though we are in a different month now, I picked up February 20. Purpose is this. 29/2/2020 minus 20 days, 9 days there, plus 23 days. 32 days interest is payable. On what number, sir, is the question before you. Let me repeat it. All of you will think on net tax payable. No, that is the difference. Interest payable for interest payable. I here itself will close that point also. Interest payable at the rate of 18%. %18% is payable for how many days? 32 days. 32 days. On what? On your gross tax liability. அப்படின்னா சார் ஐடிசிக்கு முன்னாடி இருக்கிற அமௌண்ட்டுக்கு பேரு தான் கிராஸ் டாக்ஸ் லைபிலிட்டி. ஐடிசிக்கு அப்புறம் வர அமௌண்ட் பேரு net tax liability divided by 366 into 32. Why, sir, 366? There was a leap year in this discussion. Round that number, separate bracket, divided, comma. Yeah. So total interest payable is 707. Don't be bothered about it. You will pay individually interest. Okay. Sir, if I calculate on net tax liability, answer is wrong. Let me repeat. Interest to be calculated only on gross tax liability. I will give you another situation. You are going to do the problem verbatim, same here. Okay. I want all of you to do it. This time, a service provider. This time, a service provider has provided services and he has a gross tax liability of CGST, SGST 2.5 lakhs, IGST of rupees 5 lakhs. And he has a ITC of 1,25,000 and 3 lakhs. His gross tax payable due date for filing return was 23/2020. However, actual date of payment of tax and filing of return happened on 13/5/2020. Interest is payable at the rate of so many number of days and interest to be calculated. Okay. Go ahead, calculate your interest. நான் சோம்பேறி, அதனால நீங்கெல்லாம் இல்ல, நான் சோம்பேறி. இங்க இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் டேட்டா போட்டேன்னா மீதி எல்லாம் வந்துடும். ஓகே, go ahead, calculate your number of days. Hey, one minute. Don't do. One minute. தானே இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் போடுறதுக்கான காரணமே வேறையாச்சு. எதுக்கு நான் கொடுக்கவே மாட்டேன், அதெல்லாம் நீங்க கண்டுபிடிச்சுக்கோங்க. நான் எதுக்கு கொடுத்து உங்களுக்கு உங்களை ஸ்பாயில் பண்ணணும், நீங்களே கண்டுபிடிச்சு. உங்களுக்கு தான் எல்லாம் தெரியுமே. சொல்லி தந்துட்டேன்ற திமிர்ல பேசுறேமா. Come back here, quick. Hope you understand. Output tax liability is 2.5 lakhs. CGST 2.5 lakhs SGST. This is a service provider. This is a case of a service provider who has provided the services. This is a case of a service provider who has provided the services. Output GST 2.5 lakhs. CGST SGST. Similarly, IGST is 5 lakhs. Output tax liability. You have an input tax credit of something like this. Okay, 3 lakhs common. Now, you need to arrive first your net tax liability. 2, you need to calculate your interest payable. Okay. Net tax liability ku interest payable ku edavadhu sambandham irukka sir? I don't know. You all know. Go ahead. Idha facts. Kuduthachu ungalta facts. Actually, as part of CGST and SGST, he will not have tax any amount to pay tax. Agreed. But he has to pay IGST, because of that reason it was delayed. Many of our clients are in this style only. They got stuck up because one tax they had a liability. ஒன்னுத்துல நிறைய credit இருக்கும், அந்த இது set off ஆயிக்கும், but he will not be able to do it. A very standard problem, a very standard problem. Quick, do it. If you're done with this and you get a right answer, mark my word, you are done on this topic. Quick. my major point in this question is interest payable. Okay, interest payable. Of course, on what tax? Net tax liability is a supplementary question, no doubt about it. Oh, 1 minute. Sorry. Aishwarya, you are not supposed to consolidate any money. Everything has to be calculated individually. Let me repeat it. CGST interest, SGST interest, IGST interest has to be calculated separately. 31 minus 20 plus April 30 days plus May 13 days. 54 days. Interest, CGST and SGST will be 6639 and IGST will be 13279. In fact, how I have calculated in that way only it has to be reported. Let me repeat. I also agree with you. The entire output tax liability is covered by ITC. in spite of that, interest has to be calculated if there is a delay in filing return. Sir, this is absurd. The entire tax, if I put a net tax liability here, if you all feel, sir, my entire tax liability is taken care. If I put my entire net tax liability, I will use my entire 2,50,000. My net tax liability, in fact, will be nil. ITC, ITC of CGST. In case if someone says, sir, my net tax is liability is nil, I am sorry, I have no other option. The law is very clear. Here, your net tax liability will be zero. Here again, you will restrict yourself to 2.5 lakhs. Again, ITC of SGST is used for IGST. Used for IGST. ITC of CGST used for IGST. The moment you use that, maybe your liability, net tax liability will come down. See, I am not finding fault here when it comes to net tax liability. No doubt, net tax liability will come down. Can't I use like this, sir? Yes. But there is a proviso, no doubt. Once that proviso is given effective, you will calculate only on net tax liability, which means technically for CGST and SGST, interest will not be applicable. IGST interest will be applicable, but the amendment is still pending. Let me put that is what we have also highlighted in the presentation. If you go back to the presentation, if you have it in your hand, if you come back here, net tax liability, they have inserted a proviso, but they have not given effect. So my point here is very simple. In case of all these aspects, it will be done. True? Yes. So come back here. Due date for filing the return 23/2020. The actual date of payment of tax 13/5. Net tax liability is only 1 lakh. However, interest is payable will be this. Don't sum it up, calculate it individually. It will be paid in the separate head. Separate set off you will pay. CGST you will set off separately. SGST you will set off separately. IGST you will be setting off separately. Jitesh, answer is through. Shashikala, check your answers. Pranav, answer is through. Okay, answer is through. But total IGST payable will not be that. You should also be liable to pay tax for interest for your CGST and SGST, as interest is calculated on gross tax liability. Deepthi, answer is through. Sanjay, answer is through. Shashikala, I don't know how you got 102,663. I don't know, some dates problem, I think. Aishwarya, answer is through, but you are not supposed to. Hope you saw my working now. Hope my Excel sheet is visible for all of you. You saw all of you saw my working. This is how you have to do. Simultaneously, Faisal through, Neha through, Sudarshan, எனக்கு புரியல ஏன் into 2 சரி okay done Sanjay, revise answer. Okay. Hope you all of you would able to appreciate this working, arrive this working. Then that sums up your discussion relating to interest. It should strike to somebody, even if you have a complete ITC. The net takeaway, net, what is my takeaway, sir? When it is like this, it will strike to you. Even your entire ITC is there. If there is a delay in filing return, late fee, adala return related. Delay in setting of tax liability. And the electronic liability ledger, liability register, electronic credit ledger, என்னைக்கு set off நடக்குதோ அன்னைக்கு தான் payment treat பண்றாங்க. It would be treated as a payment the day in which set off happens. When set off happens, yes, once return is filed. Until that day, on the gross tax liability, I'm liable to pay interest. So that sums up your discussion relating to your on this topic. Can we move forward? Yes. TDS. Let me give first one background relating to TDS. After that, you all will understand the importance of TDS. Until that time, you will not understand the importance of TDS. To appreciate TDS itself, you should be what is it? You should work for a government, or you should have handled some government contract. What happens is many person who deal with government, let me repeat, many person who deal with government, they all started to do many kinds of frauds. I'll share with you one of the fraud that which has been investigated by us. There was a supplier. He supplied pipes to Metro Water Board. When he supplied pipes to Metro Water Board, he has collected from government tax plus value. He knows very well government is an unregistered person. Government will not take input tax credit. Government will not submit the bill to the department. So what he did is he supplied pipes for 1 crore rupee plus GST at the rate of 18%, 18 lakhs, reported to the government as 10 lakhs plus 18% GST, which means he has suppressed the tax. Now, same way, one more fellow who was involved in TCS, who was involved in supply of goods or services through e-commerce operator, he supplied a goods for a different value, suppressed the transaction and reported to government. Very interesting to note, government will come out and say, we have purchased so much worth of goods. Here, this side, commercial tax department, SGST department, or CGST department comes out and says, you say so much goods you purchase, average rate of tax is 18%. If I multiply, I should get so much tax. I'm not getting that tax. So what government did is implemented this GST effective from 1/10/2018. Let me repeat, it came into effect from 1st October 2018. From 1st October 2018, what government did is very simple. Government told, after implementing TDS section, a tax will be deducted, a tax GST TDS will be deducted by central government, state government, local authority, or government authority. Recollect these words. Central government means wherever it is represented by President of India. State government means wherever it is represented by Governor of State. Local authority means it is all your corporation, municipality, panchayat, regional council, district council, boards, regional council boards. All these are all treated as local authority. Government authority means exclusive boards, exclusive institutions formed below a state legislature. Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority is a government authority. Chennai Metro Water and Sewage Clearance Board is a government authority. So any person supplies services. Look at that wording. Any person supplies services to central government, state government, local authority, or such other person notified by central government. They have notified what? Where any board or wherever central government has more than 51% equity control. அப்படின்னா சிம்பிளா சொல்லணும்னா கவர்மெண்ட் கம்பெனி BHEL BSNL எல்லாம் 50% 51% மேல யாரு ஓன் பண்றா? கவர்மெண்ட். Whenever any person supplies services to government for a value more than 2.5 lakhs, for a value more than 2.5 lakhs, then TDS at the rate of 1% of CGST and 1% of SGST will be deducted. Let me repeat. This is something like your income tax deduction only, but the only point here is any person. It is not only this contract, that contract. Any supplier of goods or services where the value exceeds 2,50,000. My recipient is going to be whom? Central government, state government, local authority, government authority, any board or any person where 51% of control is kept with government. If he receives a payment, if he makes a payment or credit a supplier's account for a value more than 2.5 lakhs, then he will deduct TDS at the rate of 1%. CGST, இதே மாதிரி ஒரு section SGST ல இருக்கு for SGST. In case of interstate supply, there will not be any TDS deduction. Any transaction is going to be between PSU to PSU, there will not be any deduction. In case any transaction done with military, there will not be TDS deduction. மூணே exemption தான். நல்லா ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கோங்க. மூணு exemption தான். If it is a interstate supply. What is an interstate supply? Supplier is outside the state, recipient is inside the state, in a different state. Supplier in a different state, recipient in a different state, place of supply is another state. Interstate supply. In case of interstate supply, no TDS. In case of a transaction happens between IOCL to BPCL, both are 51% held by government. No, your water, no TDS. If a transaction happens between Taskmark and IOCL, no TDS. Sir, sir, this is a central government owned company. This is a state government owned company. A transaction happened between Co-optex and again another company in Tamil Nadu, which is a public sector undertaking, no TDS. Whenever there is a supply of services. So the supply of service should also be a taxable service. The supply of goods should also be a taxable goods. If it is a taxable goods, if it is a taxable service, 1% TDS will be deducted. This is not applicable for private organizations at all. This will be out and out applicable only to whom? Central government, state government, local authority, government authority. Afterwards that where government has a 51% equity control. In those locations only or those places only, a TDS will be deducted at the rate of 1%. That too, if it is a intrastate supply. If it is again an interstate supply, TDS will not be applicable, and the amount of value of supply should exceed 2.5 lakhs. After deducting TDS, the deductor, that is the government, local authority or government authority, whomever it might be, they will file a form called as GSTR 7 and issue a certificate under GSTR 7A. Whatever money deducted by the government paid to GSTN through filing these forms, that will be credited to the electronic cash ledger of the deductee. Deductee shall claim that in the electronic credit ledger. Yes, these are all your basic aspects under TDS. When it comes to TDS, make yourself more comfortable. TDS will be deducted only by central government, state government, local authority, or such other person notified. Who is the person notified? Any board or any organization where 51% equity control is with central government or state government. They will deduct a 1% TDS on the taxable value of supply. If the value of supply exceeds 2.5 lakhs. When the payment is credited or when the payment is made. So they make an advance payment of 10 lakhs deducted. They received a bill, they are crediting the supplier account for 15 lakhs, TDS is deducted. Understood that logic? That's all. Beyond that, nothing. When the payment is credited to the supplier account or when the supplier account is credited or payment is made, 1% TDS will be left. Coming back here, in case of interstate supply, it would not be applicable. True? Yes. This sums up your discussion relating to TDS. I'll take you through a particular situation. You try to answer that situation so that we can confirm that yes, you have understood this discussion. R Limited was engaged in supply of repair and maintenance services of electronic voting machines. R Limited was engaged in supply of repair and maintenance service of electronic voting machines. During the month, they have issued an invoice for rupees 10 lakhs to election department. Election department, government of Tamil Nadu. Okay. Now, is on the payment made to R Limited, TDS is applicable. And how much will be deducted by election department? How much election department is going to deduct TDS? Quick. R Limited was engaged in supply of repair and maintenance services to election department. Chief Election Commissioner, Tamil Nadu, election department. And now, after submitting these services, after repairing all those machines, EVMs, they have a doubt whether TDS will be applicable. Yes. In case applicable, how much they will be deducted? Quick. How much they will deduct? R Limited was engaged in supply of repair and maintenance services of EVM. During the month, they have issued an invoice for rupees 10 lakhs. Of course, 10 lakhs plus GST only, they would have issued invoice to the election department. Question before you is whether TDS would be applicable. So the value of supply exceeded 2.5 lakhs. Hence, TDS at the rate of 1% for CGST and 1% for SGST will be deducted. TDS is applicable. TDS amount will be CGST 1% 10,000, SGST 1% 10,000. Done? Yes. So make a note of this. This is how your exam question maximum can be. Now, the same question I would ask, would your answer be different? Sanjay, Sashikala, Faisal, Deepthi, Gangadharan, all of you are all through. Correct. Would your answer be different? Would your answer be different if R Limited is located in Maharashtra? Would your, in the above question, would your answer be different if R Limited is located in Maharashtra? From Maharashtra, they came, provided the service, went back. Then what? TDS applicable or TDS not applicable? If it is an interstate supply, TDS not. The maximum question will be that short. Beyond that, nothing will be asked. No TDS is applicable if it is an interstate supply. See, this is not a rocket science. This is very simple topic. Government want to leave a trial in the GST system. That's all. Because government transactions are huge. Think government has in many crores. They touch a bridge, 300 crore. Touch a road, 100 crore. கோடிக்கெல்லாம் மதிப்பு இருக்கா இல்லையானே தெரியாம போயிடுச்சு. Touch a small road, 1.25 crore. Touch a building, 2 crores, sir. Hey, the building. Now, 2 crores if transaction is done, there are construction companies who took the order, never paid 1 rupee also to government. And best part is how government can chase behind them, chase behind those contractors. Government has no data. Government officer has no data. Now what happens? While giving 2 crore payment, our fellow did it. 2 lakhs, sir. GST TDS paid to them. 1 week later, we have 2 lakh rupees. You have done the transaction for 2 crores. You have what? You have reported 20 lakhs transaction. 2 crores பணம் வாங்கியிருக்க. டே பணம் வாங்கினாதான்டா அவன் டிடிஎஸ்ஏ பிடிப்பான். 2 lakhs பணமே உனக்கு டிடிஎஸ்ஆ வந்திருக்குன்னா அப்போ நீ 2 crores பணம் வாங்கியிருக்க. Pay your tax. Officer will come and collect. And let me repeat it. At this moment, I remind a lot of you. I know a lot of CA students are, for all of you, exempted services is applicable. For other courses, yes, I do agree, exempted services is not applicable. Preferably for CS, exempted services is not applicable. Recollect your 116 exempted services. Recollect those 116 very carefully. You have never come across construction of a bridge for government, exempted. You have never come across construction of a road for government, exempted. Correct? No. Which means what? It is taxable. So, if a bridge, contract, road, tunnel, terminal, railway, what not? For everything, what will happen? TDS will be applicable. TDS will be deducted. True? Can you able to appreciate this discussion? That sums up your discussion when it comes to TDS. Followed by, in the same logic, but the only thing is person is different and mode is different. Instead of a deduction, here it is a collection. Instead of government, it is ECO, e-commerce operator. In case of e-commerce operator, see, e-commerce operator is one fellow created a virtual portal, virtual market. Flipkart, virtual market. Amazon, virtual market. Who can go get in? Buyers can also get in, sellers can also get in. Why sellers get in? They want to sell the goods through e-commerce operator. Why buyers get in? Buyers want to buy the goods through e-commerce operator. Why buyers comes? Attractive discounts are there. Why seller comes? He want to expand his sales. Then all along, if he has a shop, he can sell only to a local person. Through a e-commerce operator, he can sell throughout India. As long as his product is good, he comes up with a pakka price, first in kind, goods product, he can make it up. Now, our discussion is exactly same. In case supply of goods through e-commerce operator will collect 1% as TCS on the aggregate value of supply. What is your value of supply? Sir, 1 lakh. 1% is collected as TCS. That is what section said. However, every person went and pleaded to government, sir, 1% CGST, 1% HGST, 2% and all. Margin itself for me is 5%. If you collect 2%, what will I have? So they pleaded to the government. At last, government reduced the rate of CGST, SGST to 0.5, 0.5, IGST from 2% to 1%. So net rate is today, net rate applicable for the TCS collection is 0.5% CGST, 0.5% SGST, 1% IGST. There are no exclusions for TCS. TCS, every transaction is applicable, be it CGST, be it SGST, all the transactions are applicable when it comes to your TCS is concerned. So come back here. 1% TCS is collected. 1% as TCS is collected. However, effective rate is 0.5% on the aggregate value of supply. So whenever goods are supplied, mobile phone is sold through e-commerce operator. They'll ask you supplier, how much price you sold? 10,000 rupees. 10,000. 10,000 into 0.5%. CGST, 0.5% SGST. So much amount. Give me that amount. Yes, sir. Here, take. Sell the goods through me. E-commerce operator will pay that money to government and report the transaction. Today, the transaction will be available with the GST system. Understand, the idea behind TCS and TDS is to just be aware of a transaction like this has happened. I think I already shared with you one of the instances which has happened to TCS for one of our clients, where he has recorded the transaction. He has did through Swiggy, he has did through Zomato, various transactions, but never disclosed in his income tax return. He has hidden. Today he cannot do. Why? Because his GST return will reflect it. In his electronic cash ledger, if you pull, there is a place. If you go and check, do I have TDS, TCS? Transaction will come and fall. You have to select and accept it. The moment you accept it, money will move to what? Electronic cash ledger. The tax collected can be claimed as a credit in electronic cash ledger. And the e-commerce operator will file a return called as GSTR 8. A lot more about GSTR 8, lot more about GSTR 7. We will read in our next topic. Here, what we have to understand. TDS will be deducted when a supply is made to government. TCS will be collected when supply of goods or services through a e-commerce operator. Intrastate supply, interstate supply, all supply are liable for TCS. Only intrastate supply is liable for TDS. In TDS, it has to be either government, central government, state government, union territory, local authority, government control more than 51%, those kind of companies, or any board. TCS, only one fellow, e-commerce operator. Percentage, CGST 1%, SGST 1%. Here, CGST 1%, SGST 1%, IGST 2%. However, notified revised rate, notified rate after relaxation is 0.5, 0.5, and 1. TCS, no value threshold. TDS, value threshold is there after exceeding 2.5 lakhs. If that goods or that services are liable for GST only, TDS will be applicable. How do I know, sir? In their invoices, they will say TDS is applicable or not. In the invoice issued by them, if they charged GST, then it is a taxable supply. In the invoice issued by them, if they are not charged GST, then it becomes an exempted supply. Be it TDS, be it TCS, once paid to the government, the respective deductor and collector can receive it credited into their electronic cash ledger. For TDS, GSTR 7 is filed. TCS, GSTR 8 is filed. This sums up your complete discussion on payment of taxes. So as scheduled, these are all the topics that I had for today's discussion, nothing much more. So what we will do is, if you have any questions, yes, I have unmuted you, you can ask. Else, thank you for an effective and patient listening. Tomorrow morning, we will take up with the final topic for discussion, which is filing of return under